It is my pleasure to welcome now Patrice Farmer of Nottingham of West Bloomfield. And Patrice, good morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Patrice Farmer. I'm the administrator here at Nottingham of West Bloomfield, and I want to welcome you, and it is a privilege to host this installation. Okay. It's a privilege to host this installation, and we're glad that you came. Eat up, please. Drink up. And I think we have hosted this for like a couple of years, at least 3 or 4. So we are excited, and we're going to be privileged if we host it next year. So hope to see you all next year. Yes. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Good morning. First, I want to offer my congratulations to the 2020 West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. Thank you for all that you do for the Chamber. My name is Linda Smith. I'm the marketing manager for Vibe Credit Union. At Vibe Credit Union, we care for the community by providing Chamber of Commerce sponsorships, Parks and Recreation and Library sponsorships, and we also offer financial education seminars for youth and adults. Our West Bloomfield branch is located on Pontiac Trail in Haggerty, and we offer quick approvals and fast funding. And our branch manager is Lisa Murphy. She's sitting over there with Jennifer Goike. And if any of us can answer questions for you about credit unions or about Vibe Credit Union, please don't hesitate to ask. Now I have the great privilege of introducing Rod Maloney. Rod Maloney. He's our moderator today. As Emmy Award-winning business editor at WDIV TV, you can count on Rod to be in the middle of whatever late-developing business headline that crops up or he breaks. He also covers stories at the intersection of high finance, municipal mismanagement, and corruption. Occasionally, he covers politics or general assignment crime. In his spare time, Rod earned a certificate in personal financial planning from Oakland University, eventually becoming the nation's first ever working journalist to attain certified financial planner professional status. As a board member and past president of the Automotive Press Association, he currently acts as an ambassador and media spokesperson for the Board of Certified Financial Planners. Welcome, Rod.
Thank you very much, Linda. And I will acknowledge a personal bias when I do my money minutes or whatever it is that I do on Channel 4. One of my first things that I say is that you need a credit union, not a bank. Now, if the bankers are here, I'm sorry, but credit union is the right answer for most people. So I throw that out there. There's so much to talk about. People are saying, well, what about the economy? Well, the economy is cooking right along. Thank you very much. And we know this. How? Well, if you are unemployed right now, it's because you're not trying. In all honesty, I mean, there are so many hiring signs and that kind of thing that is out there. That if you want a job, if you are, if you're interested in a job, even if a marginal skill level, you can find a job and you can do some good things for yourself in that regard. And so that is, one of the best ways to know. I mean, they'll be talking the jobs report this morning. The estimate was 160,000, but the jobs reports have been coming in much higher than the expectations for quite some time. So it'll be interesting later this morning to find out what the job situation is. But I come today because one of the things that people I think sometimes misunderstand about our economy is, like, for instance, the role of the Federal Reserve. And one of the things about the Federal Reserve is, and Dave Littman, I don't know if you remember David, he was the Comerica economist for years and years, one of the best forecasters out there, and he's a good friend of mine. I love Dave. And he once told me, he said, the Fed's job is to, when the party gets roaring, to remove the punch bowl. And he is so right. The problem is the Fed has decided they're not going to do that anymore. And so what we have now, I think, in many ways, is an economy driven by low interest rates, lots of debt. The country is, $23 trillion in debt right now, and there's no end in sight for that. And so as you look at the economy, it's doing well, but we're at the end of a 10-year bull, I think. The bull market for 10 years, that doesn't happen. It hasn't happened historically. So we're in that place where life is good, things are great, your 401k is fat if you've stuck with it, and that's fantastic, and you should be happy with that. But I will say that if the Fed won't do it, I'll act as sort of the guy who takes away the punch bowl. And I won't say that, that doom is coming, because I don't know when our 10-year bull will end. Will it end at 11? Will it end at 12? Will it end next week? We don't know. But the one thing that I do know as a financial planner, certified financial planner, is that people really now especially need to be looking at sort of defensive activity within, whether it's your 401k or if you've got outside investment accounts, IRAs, and that kind of thing. Because if you're 60, 61, 65 years old and you're all in stock and we have a correction of monumental proportion, you're going to be very sad and very sorry. In the training, they will always tell you that if you are in stocks, what you do is you take 100, subtract your age, and that's about the amount of stock you should be in. So if you're 60, you should be 60% in anything other than stock and 40% in stock. Why? Because you want to diversify. You want to protect yourself so that as you get closer to retirement, you don't get wiped out by the stock market. So my thought would be you need to be concerned about just making sure, especially as we start the new year, go ahead and diversify. Go ahead and look at your portfolio, go ahead and look at your 401k, whatever it is that you're doing, and diversify. It could not hurt to buy some physical gold, have that in a safe deposit somewhere, safe deposit box, have some bonds, and do those kinds of things to help yourself. One of the other things that we need to worry about, and right now the Fed has done a good job of keeping a lid on, is inflation. We haven't had inflation for quite some time, but those of us who have the great temples and remember the 70s, you know what inflation can do to you. And so you need to sort of try and be ready for that. One of the things that I'll be doing on one of my money minutes that I write them about 6 weeks out, so it's written, it just hasn't aired yet, is protecting yourself from inflation, because it's coming. It will happen eventually. So what do you do in an inflationary time? Well, there are a couple of things you could do. There is a new thing called a TIP, which is a Treasury bond that is inflation adjusted. So if you get some TIPs, it will actually cover inflation for you. So you get your yield on top of inflation. Very nice option. If you're going into bonds and you want to worry about inflation, you buy some TIPs. There are REITs, which is a real estate investment trust. They do well in inflationary times because it's property you're buying into an office building or whatever, and over time the value of that will go up, and that helps you with appreciation. And one thing that a lot of people don't know about, and you would certainly want to talk to your financial planner about, is preferred stock. Preferred stock actually acts like a bond even though it's stock, so it gives you some options there. So those are some of the things that I would say you need to think about in terms of protecting yourself from inflation. So I know that right now it's the roaring 20s, I guess you could say, but let's be careful and let's protect yourself from whatever that can go wrong out there. Maybe it won't, maybe it will, but you'll at least be prepared. So I offer those ideas as a way to cope with that. Now, one of the other things that came up that very few people know about, I mean, they wrote about it in the paper. I was seeing it at the end of the year as they were working on it. But there's something new that passed. The president signed last week. It's called the Secure Act. Have people seen this? Now, the Secure Act doesn't change the world that much. When I started reading through what it doesn't change the world that much, so it's not cataclysmic. But there are some interesting things in it, and so I thought I'd go over a little bit of that today. It stands for Setting Up Every Community for Retirement Enhancement. What it does really is that it makes it easier to save for retirement. One of the things that we're discovering is that there are lots and lots of people out there that don't have dime one saved for retirement. And so they're trying to incentivize that, and so my advice to anybody is you got to get out there and get on top of this if you really want to have a comfortable retirement and say live in a lovely facility like this when you get to the back end of the back nine, as it were. So here's what it does. The first thing it does, it makes it easier for smaller businesses to offer retirement plans to workers. What they've done is they've incentivized small businesses, because especially if you're a small business owner, you know that the idea of doing a defined benefit or a defined contribution plan comes with enormous amounts of regulatory concern. You've got to jump through 1,000 hoops, and it is expensive. And so what happens is in smaller companies, they don't offer those kinds of benefits because it's just prohibitively expensive. What this does is it takes that down. It makes it easier to not only get started with having a retirement plan in your small business, but it also incentivizes you to do it as an automatic enrollment. In other words, you have a small business, you have people who work for you, you want to get them involved, they don't charge you, they don't make it difficult for you to get them enrolled as well. So it's a really nice thing that they've done for small businesses. It also makes it so that part-time employees say, and we hear a lot of this about, I got 3 jobs and, I work here and I work there and I work here and I don't have any benefits anywhere. Well, they're changing that now so that if you are a part-time employee, you still have an opportunity to do a 401k or an IRA or something like that. So they've worked on that because that's been a real hole in the economy. This is one, and I've talked about this on the air a lot, required minimum distributions. Who's heard of an RMD? I'm thinking the credit union people. No, they're a pretty good group. You've heard of RMDs. If you've not heard of an RMD, it's rather, it's the right answer for the government because, look, they've given you the opportunity in a tax-deferred IRA, 401k, 403b, to have your growth come with no tax. It's wonderful. It's great for you. The problem is the government says, well, okay, at some point we want our money back. We want to get our tax out of whatever it is that you've had in terms of growth. And so it used to be, up until January, when you hit age 70 and a half, by the April of next year, the year following you turn 70 and a half, you had to start taking money out of your 401k, your IRA, 403b. And if you don't, look out. They put a tax of it like 50%. If you mess that up, and it's easy to do, it's really easy to mess up your RMDs. They tax you 50% what you're supposed to take. So, they've incentivized making sure you take them. But what this does is that it makes it so instead of being 70 and a half, you don't have to take your RMDs until you're 72. So what I would say is that it's great you get that 2-year bump where you don't have to take the RMDs, but you need to know that they're out there, and there is a schedule. In fact, one of my Money Minute runs, it'll run, I think, in the next couple of weeks. Actually, no, that's not true. It already aired, and you can go online on the Money Monday page at clickondetroit.com. You can see my RMD treatment, and what you will see is the schedule that the IRS puts out in terms of what it is that you need to do to be able to take your RMDs. So I just throw that out there. It's one of those things you need to think about. Maybe you're 30 years away from it. Maybe it's the next 6 weeks. But either way, be aware that that's what's out there, and those are the good things that are happening. So, for me, that's what I wanted to talk about this morning. Just, give some basic, simple tips to get you out the door in the morning and something to think about. And if anybody has a question or anybody wants to talk about something, David, yes, sir. I don't know. Let's put it this way. I think the market's overvalued by quite a bit, but it just keeps going up and up and up and up. Now, how far it will fall becomes the question. We still have a strong economy. It's not like in 2009 when the companies weren't making money and things weren't going well, and the whole thing kind of came down because of the problems with CMOs and that kind of problem. I don't think we have the underlying structural problem that was 2010, but I will say that I would be concerned that we're hitting the end of the road here, which is why I said let's be cautious, let's not panic, but at the same time, let's be careful, protect yourself, okay? Anybody else? Well, that's good. I'm glad everybody's up to speed this morning. Your next speaker is going to be the Chief Judge of the 48th District Court here in the area, West Bloomfield Hills. A perfectly lovely lady that I spoke to. She said, don't go long on the introduction. But I will say she's been 20 years on the bench, was an assistant Oakland County prosecutor. She got her JD from MSU and the College of Detroit, Wayne State undergrad. And I wanted to say this is where she took a swing through Oxford on the way back to West Bloomfield. But I just wanted to say so much thanks because she was a wonderful conversationalist. I enjoyed talking to her. Judge Diane D'Agostini.
Good morning, everybody. So nice to be here. I bought my little black dress. Really, it's not a little black dress. It adds like 80 pounds every morning. It's It's lovely. I love my robe. Okay, so I do want to thank the staff at Notting Hill. It's always a really nice breakfast. And Suzanne Levine, thank you so much for always inviting me. I love meeting your members and everything that all of you do for West Bloomfield and beyond in your businesses. Thank you so much. Rod Maloney, you taught me so much in this 10-minute intro. Okay, so you said take 100 minus your age, that would be 30. So 70%. I am so out of it on that calculation. So that percentage is where you should be in stocks.
If in fact your math is correct, you should be 30%.
Is everyone else troubled by this equation? I didn't know this. Okay, all right. So I will be making a phone call on my way back to the court. Thank you so much, though. That was just great information. You know, sometimes we work so hard in our jobs, we ignore certain things, right? And that's very helpful information, Mr. Maloney. Thank you. I am here to administer the oath, and it's always a pleasure and an honor for me to attend this breakfast and do that with your group. I bring my robe to make it that much more prominent, so that I am appropriately dressed for the occasion. So I am going to ask the board members to please come up here. I know it's a large group. Maybe we could fit everybody in. I'll start off with Linda Charter from Melaleuca Independent Consultants. She is the president. Yes, you might come on up, please. Stacy Zatkovich from Family Funeral Care, past president. Claire Borer from the West Bloomfield Township Library as treasurer. Vito Corchuro, Consult Vito, the vice president. Angela Samuels from Green Phoenix Business Solutions as secretary. And Ambassador at Large, Pam Zajac. On the general board, we have David Barish from Strategic Wealth Consulting Group. Judith McNeely from Beaumont Health. Kay Fawcett from Block Advisors. Kay is our new member. Pam Dover from Comcast Business. Dan Durkin from West Bloomfield School District. Tim Ferris, Upstream Investment Partners. Eric Glick from the Glick Law Firm. Shendy Hopkins from Flagstar Bank. Alan Mindell from National Realty Center. Lynn Otwell from Notting Hill. Shane Pliska from Plantera. Deb Spencer from Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital. Kelly Woodley from Orchard Mall. Sherry Cordell from Provision Living. And I think we have a representative from DMC Huron Valley Sinai. Maybe? No? Okay. So I will actually come before you, if that's okay. And if you could all raise your right hands, please, and repeat after me. I do as an officer or director. I do as an officer or director. Hereby swear or affirm. That I will support the bylaws and mission. Of the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. I promise to be a responsible. Proactive advocate. Of business interests. In the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. I pledge to uphold our goal. To help businesses grow and prosper. While improving the quality of life. in West Bloomfield. I will faithfully implement the duties of my office as a member of the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce to the best of my ability throughout my term. All right, congratulations, everybody.
Well, I'm glad we could have had a board meeting this morning. Okay, so our last speaker on the program this morning is the outgoing president of the chamber, Stacy Zotkovich.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm so excited to be here today, and I'm so thrilled that all of you are here as well. I know it's an early morning, but it's not snowing and it's not a snowstorm, so we're very lucky as we've had that in experiences in the past. I wanted to extend a warm welcome and thank you for being here this morning. I was honored to serve as the president that you trusted in my leadership for the 2019 Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce, so thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. As I stated at the beginning of the year, where I once read, some people dream of success while others get up in the morning and make it happen. I again thank you for being here, and you are on the road to success, because as we know, how you wake up in the morning and start your day is how the rest of your day is going to flow, and we all want great positive days, right? Yes? Speaking of, yes, I love it. Speaking of success, 2019 was memorable, and it was for many reasons. Me being as president, of course, what always comes to mind is the unique business matchmaking that the chamber offers that connects members to the benefits of the community and the partners that we have. A year in review. I know you're excited to hear about all the exciting things that we have. If you hear some things and you didn't know about it, then maybe you should check it out. Kind of exciting. Our West Bloomfield Awards dinner in September was successful, and Chief Patton was awarded as well, so congratulations. Of course, I have to point that out. And there's a couple other members that we were just so appreciative of. We received valuable sponsorship for that from our local community as well, and the function would not have happened without them. In June, we had our most successful health fair to date. It was sold out, and it was a completely packed event. So thank you to our wonderful partnership with West Bloomfield Township. It wouldn't have happened without you. The launch of the big Business Innovative Generator brought many great speakers at no charge, ranging from taxes to networking topics. And watch out for 2020 big events. You're not going to want to miss these. And I might even be a speaker at one of them, so hint, hint. The SRG, which is our senior resource group, is a partner of West Bloomfield Parks and Rec. It has been so successful and an instrumental part to West Bloomfield. They recently built a Connect, which is at the Oakland Mall? Orchard Mall, and they are actually having a ribbon cutting on June 15th at 10 a.m., January 15th. Okay, I went to the gym this morning. I've had a lot of coffee, and I am raring to go, so just want to point that out. Woo! Talk about starting your day on the right path. So let me go back. So we've got the new facility that they built, and it is at the Connect Senior Center, and their ribbon cutting is on January 15th at 10 a.m. There we go. And the launch of the WIN, which is the Women Inspirational Network, is in full force, and watch out for details for this upcoming year. The YNGG, which is a Young Entrepreneurial Networking Group, is being reinnovated, and their event on January 30th will kick off the year. And there will be lots more to come, so hopefully if you have a business and you want to look into it, and we'd love to have you join. The leadership luncheon we had in June continues to set the bar high with a fabulous speaker, Mark Cullen, the CEO of Bedrock, which is part of the Quicken Loans family that engaged and inspired the audience. Those of you who went, I have to tell you, it was a completely wow and exciting event. If you haven't gone, I know that the works in this year are already in the making, and it will be again successful. As you know, giving back to the community is important to the West Bloomfield Chamber. How many of you, I have to ask, was at the Not So White Elephant Party? There's a lot of familiar faces, and this year was a real heartstring, heart tugger. They had Comfort Salon Foundation, and if you haven't heard of that foundation, it was phenomenal. The things that they do for these hospice patients or people who don't have very much longer to live is really, will make you go to tears. So please check them out and just see what they have to offer, because you never know when you're gonna need this service. And Civic Center TV, yes. They tape the biz and the splash where many of our events are featured, and some of them are even posted on YouTube. They also are featured on WBLD 89.5, The Lakes FM. Ooh, that sounded good, didn't it? A special thank you to our sponsor, Dave Scott, back there. Thank you so much. Tyler Keefe, back there as well. I see all you guys at all the events. And the talented staff at Civic Center TV for covering the events and making our chamber unique with all these additional offerings. And wow, did we have a lot of exciting things going on in our community and the networking. Lots of ribbon cuttings, get-togethers, connections, events. I have to tell you, it's phenomenal. And for our 2020 newly elective officers, we are thrilled and excited to see what our 2020 will hold for our businesses and opportunities. And I will tell you, obviously you're here for a reason, but the chamber really can help provide so much more to connecting and seeing what's really out there, what people have to offer, and you never know where you're gonna lead and what you're gonna do next. And to the board members, thank you so much who have given their time, their effort to be at the board meetings, to be out at the events, to be initiative on part of the committees. We really, truly thank you so much. And I would specifically like to thank Suzanne, our executive director. She remains to be the heart and soul of the chamber. She's welcoming and helpful to everyone, with anyone that comes in. And she connects them with a lot of eagerness and enthusiasm. And she's an esteemed woman, personally and professionally. Suzanne has done an excellent job of strengthening our chamber, relationships with our township and our community, and she has been instrumental in leading the chamber and its various programs and to support the members of our community. Let's all give a heart-warm-filled thank you to Suzanne. Thank you. I really appreciate it. We all do. And without the further ado, please let me acknowledge our event sponsors, Marvin and Betty Danto's Health Care Center, Vibe Credit Union, Fox Momentum, Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital, and of course this morning, Notting Hill of West Bloomfield, along with their staff for making this event possible. Thank you so much. Judge Diane D'Agostini, thank you so much for always being here and being part of this special initiation that we have. It really does make it a lot more special and more meaningful to us, because I like posting it that a judge swore me in. I think it's kind of cool. And to Rod Maloney from WDIV, thank you so much for being here and taking the time. Civic Center TV, your team, it all takes a big support. Chief Patton, I appreciate you being here. Debbie Binder, Steve Kaplan, and Eric from Henry Ford West Bloomfield, which is the president there. So thank you so much. And in final, which are probably like, phew, okay. I'm excited to continue being in the community and being very involved and active, and I am hoping that I will continue educating and empowering and redirecting so many people. And I am confident that I can facilitate through my positive attitude with my work ethics as well. And I have challenged myself to some new things this year, and I'm hoping that you will challenge yourself to do some new things. Hitting the gym, exercising. I just recently started doing some videos with Real Talk with Stacey Renee, so you have to check those out. It's very raw, but it's exciting, and I had no more excuses. So hopefully it will help your days a little bit if you need a little pump me up. And with that, I wanted to leave one thing with you as a positive thought, is I brought calendars if you'd like one. And it looks like January, February, March, April, May, June through the whole year. And the beautiful thing about this is if you've been wanting to do something that you haven't done before, this is your perfect way to do it. The January has little slots in it, so you can color in every day that you accomplish something. Because you can change your life, and you can make it happen, and you should see it all become colorful. So I have these because, of course, I have to do something positive and leave you with something. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of your time, efforts, and everything you do. I'm Stacy Zakovich. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. I'm the Executive Director of the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. For those of you that don't know me, which would be kind of odd, but I'm Suzanne Levine. And Stacy, you're such a hard act to follow. I just want to thank Stacy on behalf of the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. Your enthusiasm, your leadership, your positive energy, how you support me in every single way, and all of our members in our community. We really cannot say enough to thank you for your leadership. And we know that we're going to keep you as long as we can on our board and in our community. So thank you again for all you've done for us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll introduce
You
Linda.
want to-
I'd like to thank Zig Ziglar for coming this morning. Okay. Okay. So let's see here. The president of the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce is Linda Charter of, was it Malaluka Independent Consultants.
So I won't be long. My friend told me my speech was only like 3 minutes, so. So thank you. It's an honor to be here in front of you today as the newly appointed president of the West Bloomfield Chamber. I have been a part of the West Bloomfield community since 1978, and I love it. When we moved here, my older son was at West Bloomfield High, my middle son was at Abbott, and my youngest son was at Scotch. So things have sure changed since then, and it's all for the good. So let's give a big thank you to Notting Hill for hosting today. I'm sure you would agree that they do a great job. Special thanks to Judge Diane D'Agostini for taking the time out of her busy schedule to come and induct the new board. And also thanks to our MC, Rod Maloney, WDIV business editor, as well as our other event sponsors. I'm glad to see so many attending today. I'm always thrilled at the participation at chamber events by our members, so thank you. I truly believe that West Bloomfield has the best chamber of commerce in the area, and if you are not part of it yet, you should be. Our executive director, Suzanne Levine, is amazing. I encourage you to meet and talk with her so that you can see what I mean. So I remember 4 years ago now when Angela Samuels invited me to an event and introduced me to Suzanne. I joined the chamber right away and shortly after was asked to be on the board. It was the best thing that I ever did for myself personally and for my business, so thank you, Angela. So I want to let you know that we have a lot of great ideas to bring forward this year. We are going to really invigorate our specialty groups like the Young Professional Entrepreneur Network, the Women's Inspiration Network, 2 health fairs, and a business expo, along with some other new ways to engage our membership. So I also want to encourage you, the members of the community, to participate as much as possible. You can only get out of your membership what you put in. So we want to get a lot out of our programs and events. So again, I'm honored to be here today as your president, and I want to know how I can serve you better as a chamber members. So we all want to help one another grow in our businesses. I can do that better by learning more about your needs and how the chamber can solve your problems. So one of my favorite things is talking with people and learning exactly how I can help them. I look forward to chatting with you soon so we can make the West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce the best it can be for you, your business, and this community, and looking forward to a prosperous and beneficial 2020. So thanks.
Very nicely done, Linda. A couple of things just before we go. I'm a West Bloomfield resident and have been here for 25 years now. And Stacy, God bless her heart, remembers me when I was an anchor up in Saginaw. And what she didn't say was, I grew up watching you, which I am grateful for. Thank you so much. And by the way, Judge, I want to make sure that I got the, did she leave already? It's the remainder. So if you're 70, you should be 30% in stocks, not 70. Just, I want to be clear, okay? Thank you so much for having me. I am heartened as a resident to know that you're out here doing all of this great stuff to make West Bloomfield such a great town. Thank you very much and have a good day.